Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something interesting to take a look at. I don't know that I would say it's super exciting, but we've got ourselves a remote-controlled Velociraptor, a wired, unfortunately, but a remote-controlled Velociraptor nonetheless. Now, this looks like those figures that I don't know if you've seen them, but I've seen them a mountain of times all across AliExpress, eBay. I see them popping up all the time. They're not normally wired, but I do see these RC Raptors and Spinosaurus and Dilophosaurus and Giganotosaurus and stuff all over the place on those type of websites, and I've always been tempted to pick some of them up. Even if I think they look a little bit goofy looking, they have kind of like a cool walk to them, so I've always been sort of interested in grabbing some, but up until this point I have not. However, I was at Five Below recently and saw that they actually had one of these, again the wired version there, for only like $5, so I figured, what the heck, if it's garbage, at least it's only $5, but if it's kind of cool, maybe it'll convince me to buy one of the non-wired, better looking versions that I see on AliExpress for a little bit more money. So I figured I'd pick it up, and at the very least it could make a fun video for us. So you can see again, it does state wired remote control Velociraptor. You can also see the dinosaur there within the packaging. You can see it has roar sounds and realistic walking supposedly, as well as a wired fossil remote control. And then again, this is the red version. There were actually quite a few different color versions there. I just went with this one because I felt like it was probably the coolest looking one that they had. If we turn it over here to the side, you can see, watch out, dinosaur cage. And then over here on the other side, basically like a little sort of warning sign with some scratch marks on it for the raptor. I will say the box art is actually pretty cool. And then here on the back, you can see basically all the stuff that we had just seen on the front, but obviously now showing us this stuff here on the back without the open area showing off the raptor. So as always, let's pop this box open and check it out. So straight out of the packaging, this is basically what it looks like, and then you also have the arms that are here that are separate. So I just wanted to bring this in to kind of show you guys what it looks like the moment I've taken it out of the packaging. It's interesting. Wow, there are a whole lot of screw holes on this side. Not near as many on the other side. Of course, the side that you see in the packaging is without screw holes. This side is absolutely overloaded with them. It looks like somebody shot this thing up like a whole bunch of times. But regardless, I'm going to go ahead and throw these arms on here, and then we'll check this raptor out from there. Yeah, I guess that arm's on there now. And then we'll pop this one on. They seem like they go in pretty easily. No real issue with that. Definitely has the raptor standing a lot nicer now. And obviously there are wheels here on the undersides of the hands to help the raptor move. And then of course we have the feet that I guess are going to move once we, get some batteries in this and try to take our raptor for a spin. But what we're going to do before we get to that point is take a closer look, as we always do, even if it's probably not the best raptor in the world. We might as well take a closer look and check out the fine detail. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the raptor, you can see it's got some okay looking detail, but definitely nothing to write home about. Obviously the paintwork is very generic. We only have a reddish tone for the figure. It also has a very, very strong satin shine to it. The eyes are painted with a black, and that's really about it. They are nicely placed, though. I can give them that at least. The inside of the mouth does sport the teeth sculpted out. They're all sculpted together, but they look pretty good, even though they are super pearly white. Obviously, this raptor brushes quite often. The entire inside of the mouth is the same color as the teeth, so obviously those are separate pieces that are sort of added into the figure. You can see the tongue does sport a nice reddish tone, though, and there is some kind of super generic looking texturing to the tongue. Obviously, on this side, we've got a nice big screw hole here in the face, as well as on the lower jaw, because this side is absolutely littered with screw holes everywhere. But if we come back to this side, you can see some kind of skin wrinkles and, some fine detail moving down the course of the neck. I would say that this spot right here actually holds the nicest looking detail I see on the figure, even if it is a little bit awkward looking and definitely a little bit overly sculpted, but it looks, better than most other places. You can see we've got a little bit of kind of extra hanging skin here on the underside of the throat, some nice wrinkling twinkling as you lead down there into the neck and throat region of the raptor. You can also see more of that moving down. Obviously, this is a very Jurassic Park style raptor when it comes to the very skin textured look. We don't have, any kind of wonderful feathering or anything on this. As you move down into the arms, you have the same style of skin texture as you move through the course of the majority of the raptor. It all has that almost like generic sort of scale detail moving through. The arms are really, really long for the figure, but they're not like ridiculously long in comparison to what you usually see with a Jurassic Park raptor, as they do have fairly long arms. So, it doesn't look absolutely awful, but not great. You have some nice scoots running down the course of the fingers at least, as well as painted nails, which is a plus at least. You've got some painted nails with a black, though you have this ugly area here on the underside, but I mean, it's kind of to be expected if you want this raptor to actually work. As you move back here, you do have a little area of the skin texture still shown off here before it kind of cuts off abruptly, I guess to make room for the leg to move. So nothing really great going on there. As you move up here, you can see the spinal column moving along the back. As you move out, you obviously have the cord coming out of the back of the raptor. And then you've got this little area here of articulation for the tail. I guess would probably move when we start moving the dinosaur. Who knows? You can see that there is some okay looking skin texture and detail to the tail. The tail's super short in comparison to the rest of the dinosaur, so obviously the tail does look a little awkward, but it does have a nice curve to the tail. And then as you lead down through the length of the leg, you can see that there was some attempt at muscle definition there in the thigh and calf, kind of, sort of, moving down. Super generic looking skin texture and scale detail, as well as, again, some scoots running down the front of the foot. The sickle claw looks awkwardly small as well, but overall, it's clearly not trying to win any awards when it comes to its sculpt, that's for sure. And it doesn't look like we have dew claws or anything, no. You can see the mechanics for the raptor here and everything, nothing really hiding that here on the underside. So it's absolutely not the greatest figure in the world. Again, once you turn it to this side, we have screw holes everywhere. But it's absolutely not the greatest figure in the world, and I definitely did not expect it to be. I thought it would be just something kind of interesting to take a look at and give me a chance to actually look at the movement of these raptors in person to see if it actually looks kind of cool or not. So I guess at this point, the only thing really left to do would be to throw some batteries in this, and we'll check it out from there. So we've got some batteries in the figure. It does not come with batteries. You'll have to grab some. AAA batteries is what you would want to use. It does have a pretty long cord. I can give it, credit for that. You can see the cord starts here and then runs pretty far out here. You definitely got some decent room with the cord, which would allow you to get this raptor to move pretty far, but we're not going to go all that far with it this time because we're just basically going to get a look at it here on the review station and the way it moves. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll turn it around and then bring it back. There's a button for the sound here as well, so we'll do that in a moment. Oh, we walked right into the backdrop. I will say the movement is actually pretty cool. Like, it has actually kind of almost a natural walking movement to it. Well, sort of. I wish I could make him come back. He only goes forward. He can't change position at all because you only have two controls on the remote. It's either forward or the noise. Let's hear the noise. I am not at all surprised that it would be a Godzilla roar. So we'll just, the longer you hold the button in, the longer the noise goes. So you can just keep it going, or you can just let out one and then end it. So that's really up to you as far as how that goes. But I will say, I do like the movement again of the raptor. It kind of looks cool. You can see the way it moves as it quickly moves past the screen here. Let's try to get a little bit of a wider, better shot here so we can just see it move a little bit longer as it just walked right into the Mattel Ford Explorer I have over here off to the side. I've got a Ford Explorer sitting right there, and he walked directly into it and just fell over, which was actually pretty funny. But if we push it back here again, just give you one more visual of the movement. He does have a pretty cool, kind of a smooth walking motion to him. I will say that. I kind of want to take him outside, actually, just to see how he works outside. I don't know if he'll really move in grass or anything, so I guess let's go ahead, run outside quick, and we'll check it out outside. So we're basically just standing above it, and now we have the cord in our hands, so it'll almost be like we're taking it for a walk, but let's see if it works on just some stones here. Nope. Look at him trying to get up. He can't get up at all. He just fell right over. We'll try it one more time. Nah, not working at all. And I think it was almost obvious that it wasn't going to work because we have these like little wheels here on the hands that, you know, really prohibit it from walking around out here. I'm pretty confident that that means it's not going to work in the grass either. Nope, he went absolutely nowhere. Now we're going to try it on the road. Wow, that was about as disastrous as it gets. We're going to go for attempt number 2. Alright, so he can walk on the road. Not great considering his arm fell off the first time, but he's walking now. So I think we can say confidently he's not an all-terrain velociraptor. He doesn't do well anywhere other than a smooth surface. He can walk on the road even though it's a little bit bumpy. He's not great at it, but his smoothest walking is clearly on a nice flat smooth surface. So just something to keep in mind if you're planning on taking your raptor up into the woods. I don't recommend it. As far as the size goes, it's got a decent size to it for being $5. You're looking at about 13 3/4 inches, or right around 35 centimeters. And then the highest point might be the back of the head, I think. You're looking at about the 5 1/4 inch range, or about 13.5 centimeters for a size comparison. There is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus Robert Muldoon, and the Collect a Human Being here next to our RC wired version of the Velociraptor. And you can see it's not gigantic, but it is a fairly decent size for something like this. So, you know, it's at least kind of cool that it has a pretty good size to it, but it is by no means a very large RC dinosaur. And then for one more comparison, I don't really feel like we need a whole lot with this because I really don't think that there's much of an interest in the size past what we've already done here. You can see we've got a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, which obviously shows you that the figure overall is quite a bit larger than what we have for a Mattel Raptor or Dilophosaurus. So this random wired RC Velociraptor that you can purchase right now, again from Five Below, is interesting. I definitely couldn't give it a 5-star rating, that's for sure, but it's kind of fun, and I could definitely see kids enjoying it, kids having fun with it, because, you know, as long as you've got at least like a hardwood floor or tile floor or something somewhere in your house, it's got some decent room with the cord, so you can get it to, you know, walk pretty far, especially if you just follow along with it. And it does walk pretty smoothly on any sort of a smooth surface. So it does have that going for it. It is pretty fun to do. You know, it's neat to see it walk because it does have kind of a cool looking walk, almost a natural sort of a visual of it walking. So that is a plus. And for $5, you know, it's definitely something kids would enjoy. But as an adult collector, it's not really that great. The sculpt is super generic. Like, the fine detail doesn't really look all that good on it. Moving through the course of the model, it just is like the most generic skin texture that you could possibly imagine. Like, they just took a texture stamp and just placed it everywhere moving through the course of the figure. But again, it is just a super cheap $5 RC Raptor, so I don't expect a masterpiece. The paintwork is also really generic, but at least it does have painted nails. You know, we've got that going for it, but the only coloration that we have on it is red. There are a few different color variants for it that you can purchase in store at Five Below again as well. It does have a whole bunch of screw holes on it, but if you're buying an RC dinosaur, I don't think that screw holes are going to bother you very much because it's not like it's a beautiful model. It's just something fun to play with. So even though it does have some downsides, like its inability to really do much of anything outside, And some upsides, like the pretty smooth walking motion that it has inside on a nice flat surface, kind of fun for what it is. And now I think I may have been convinced to grab some of those other ones that I see on AliExpress, and maybe I'll review those here on the channel at some point in the near future. So if you are interested in grabbing one of these for yourself, you can head to your local Five Below, because I believe that's the only place that I've seen actually selling this version of it. So again, you can find them in store. I found a whole bunch at my store recently. I think they might be online on Five Below's website. I will try to find out, and if they are, I will include a link in the description to where you can buy them online as well. One way or another, it's kind of cool, but not anything amazing. But if you are interested, again, check those links or check Five Below yourself, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.